Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And those seeds, it goes back to watering them, right? Like you got to keep working at it. So, give me an example of some seed that was planted that eventually wilted and died, right? Like something that didn't get to like all the way. It was just an early curiosity, and then, it was just what it was, and you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I thought initially, maybe it was like, being kind of enamored by the credentials and whatnot. It was like, hey, I want to, so I work at like a large hospital system in Houston, but at one of the community sites. And I was like, oh, I want to work at the main site where it's like the large academic center and join a few committees. And this will kind of like bolster, my name and credentials, and it'll kind of help open some doors. I wanted to kind of, get into more kind of leadership in these large hospitals and whatnot. And I soon realized, like, I got on a few committees. I started picking up a few shifts at kind of the larger hospital site. And I soon realized I was doing it for the wrong reasons, right? Like that, I wasn't passionate about teaching residents. I wasn't passionate about going to these various hospital committee meetings and whatnot. And I, was always mad when I had to do it. Traffic would tend to be bad going to that side. And I'd be like, why am I doing this? This is annoying. And I did that for like a year and a half. And I was like, no, I just kind of want to work at my community site. There's no need for that. And it kind of made me very frustrated, not a pleasant person to be around. But I realized that, kind of going back to what I said initially, I think if you're doing it, or if I was doing it for reasons that are not because of true curiosity and true passion, then it usually, maybe doesn't work out. And so I think for me, I've realized that. And so a lot of people, whether it's in the medical world or whether, it's in these other circles I'm in, they'll be like, why are you doing this? Your main thing is this, or the other group will say your main thing is that. It's like, I just like it, that's, it's simple as that. And so, but yeah, and then there's been lots of mini failures along the way. There's probably failures every day, right? There's, this series I wanted to create with like Texas Stacy, where it was gonna, we like had almost had this funding for it. It was gonna be like this traveling through Texas kind of road trip series. And it was going to be like this podcast combined with like eating your way through like these various, it was a chain of gas stations in Texas, and kind of going through their sites and like various Texas cities and whatnot. And it was going to be like this big, monetary, like 6-figure kind of deal. And it was going to be amazing. And it was going to showcase, Texas to World Cup visitors. And basically this gas station was going to be kind of like their go-to place for when they're going to World Cup games in Houston and Dallas and that kind of thing. And it fell through, end of last year. And it really sucked, right? It was like this monetarily, this kind of loss, and it was going to be this big thing for the brand, and then being associated in World Cup is really awesome, and I'm over it now. But like, there's so many mini failures, and I think the thing you have to get used to and move on from.
That is amazing.